Hey everybody, Josh here from Android Central, and I just wanted to take a moment out of my holiday festivities to show you guys a new game that came out for Android. It's called Dead Space. It's by EA. Some of you might be familiar with the console and PC versions of this game. But what Dead Space on Android is doing is giving us a little prequel insight into what happened in the storyline that, made the events of the storyline happen. So you'll notice that the very first thing we saw on screen after the EA logo was for best experience plug-in headphones. Right from the get-go, EA is trying to really immerse you in the experience. The graphics are very, very top-notch, almost Shadowgun quality, but still for an Android game highly impressive. And in that, they're really trying to startle you with the Necromorphs and just the suspense that comes with the kind of horror survival game. I've got the whole thing booted up. You can see just on the menu screen how nice everything looks. I haven't started a new game yet, and so we'll get to go through that together and see what happens. For the issues of this video review, let's do easy. I hope you guys will forgive me for that. Let's turn it up just a bit. So you'll see the opening cinematic is really, really detailed. We're in space. There's some really strong audio coming in.
Stable in public sector 3. Environment screen on sector 6 is still experiencing problems, and residents are preparing a petition. Tether's in place. Mining turret is ready.
And basically is much, much higher quality than something that we'd typically expect on the Android platform. Sure, the graphics aren't, PS3 quality, but as far as an Android game, the only game I've played so far that can rival this in graphics is Shadowgun. Emissary War is kind of in the same ballpark, but really one tier underneath this. And as the camera pans in, we see our main character, the miner.
Audio log, rig number 438642. I've been selected for a secret mission down in the core systems on the shard.
So our miner is some sort of secret special ops guy, but the game is teaching me how to move him around, and this is really big. You just tap him to move around, and that's really great because it doesn't limit you the same way that a virtual joystick does. As long as you're pretty much in the ballpark of moving him around, he'll move. You can use the right, space to move the camera around, and between the two you get a pretty intuitive way to move without ever worrying about your thumb running into the bezel or something like that. The game clips right along, tap to open a door, and you'll see that we are just running down this hall. So from the get-go again, something shady going on. Our guy's got a voice changer. He's not to give anybody his real name. Very, very suspicious. This is pretty cool. If you ever get lost, you hit this icon, can tap that, and boom, shows you right where to go. So we're here to get this plasma saw. Boom. Alright. So far, so good. So something we're doing is vital to a cause. Maybe it could be radicals or something crazy. There's multiple references to the church, which is a little freaky. Alright, next objective, going to the plasma cutter. You'll see we haven't seen any enemies so far. This mining vessel, if it is indeed a mining vessel, seems to be pretty safe. Power's on, but for some reason we're sabotaging all of the power cells.
Remember, always keep an eye on your locator. It knows this place better than anyone. Rig number 4842. This type petition. No. There's a plasma cutter waiting for you in a locker near the server room.
That's what we were after. The plasma cutter is your true first offensive weapon. It's going to let you, cut off things like Necromorph's body parts, things like that. Aiming is also really great. Tap, and then you just move around and tap the screen again to fire. To put your weapon down, you just start running again, and he automatically holsters it. What are we looking for? They've also developed a fairly intuitive system to turn the plasma cutter if you need to. You just simply rotate, and then it rotates the plasma cutter. So while on something like a tablet that might be kind of a pain on a phone, the motion is going to be so small that you really won't notice it. And it actually is rather fluid, rather intuitive when you do need to do it. And where's the last one?
Relax. Have faith. All I can tell you is that after today, the government will no longer stand in the way of the church.
Curious.
Should be some kinesis modules in this room coming up. See if you can find one while I work on these locks.
Okay.
Kinesis module acts as an extension of the user's limbs, allowing for remote manipulation of objects and equipment. Personnel should be aware of the object's true weight when working in populated areas.
Where are we going? Ah. Alright, pretty cool. So you'll see even things like this glowing action on his hand, lifting things up is also very smooth. The gameplay really speaks for itself and how it just chips along. It doesn't seem to be particularly optimized or specific to Tegra devices or non-Tegra devices. This installed on my Evo 3D just as well as it did on my Toshiba Thrive. And on the tablet screen it really just kind of takes on a life of its own. Alright. Okay. And that's our first Necromorph right there. So, I'll show you the first Necromorph Encounter, and then I'll call it because it'll get pretty gruesome at that point and kind of a not safe for work video. But this is where the game really heats up. End of the first level. Alright. See, so that's our first Necromorph. Second Necromorph. And that in a nutshell is Dead Space. I'm not sure if you can hear, aside from the warning sound effects, there's some really terrifying background music, kind of like screeching violins. Red lights are blinking, and if you're wearing headphones, this could definitely become a very terrifying experience very quickly. Dead Space, again, it is by EA. It is $7.46 with tax in the Android market. But if you're looking for a really AAA experience on an Android tablet, this is definitely something that I would check out. Again, it's Dead Space, it's by EA, and you can find it in the Android market.